Hey, my name is Kenny Robinson, and this is the Intro to Software Development course. The purpose of this course is to educate viewers and students like yourself on how to learn about building software applications. This course is designed to teach C# in preparation for the Foundational C# exam. The certification exam can be used to get you a job in the industry, as it is a valid certification that is offered by Free Code Camp in conjunction with Microsoft. Now, with this course, you will be learning how to write C# code and learning coding concept in general. I'm a software developer, have been for the last 6 years. Prior to that, I worked in testing automation, and prior to that, I worked as building websites and managing websites for a university. That being said, we're going to get into the first part of this, which is an overview of software development. Now, software development is designed so that you are building applications for an intended purpose. Most people refer to software development as the output of software development as apps, but depending on what it is, it could be an app that's designed for your phone, or it could be an app that's designed to run on a server. Now, C# is used in a number of ways. Most commonly, it has been traditionally used only with Microsoft technologies. However, in more recent years and with the release of the .NET Core framework, it is now cross-platform, which means you can build an application using a Windows computer and then deploy that to a Linux computer, a Mac computer, or even some ARM devices like Raspberry Pi. I've actually built some stuff using my Linux computer, which is what you see here, and deployed them to a Raspberry Pi running as a background service for another operation that I have. That said, you can build websites with this. You can also build APIs with this. The possibilities of using C# are endless. Now we're going to get into how do you use the compiler. So I have pulled up is an online compiler, which basically allows you to use your web browser to write code in, and then once you click run, it will go build it on its server or behind the scenes and then show you the output. Now, this is useful because of the fact if you don't have the software already installed on your computer, or you have no interest in installing the software on your computer necessary to run and build C# applications, then you don't have to do so. However, if you want to be able to build C# applications in the future to be able to deploy for whatever reason, you can install Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code with the .NET Core SDK, which stands for Software Development Kit. Here is the first homework assignment. So as you see, the code here has already been here. I haven't typed this code out. When you go to the Program IZ website and pull up the compiler, it gives you this code by default. So let's walk through this and we'll talk more about the homework in a second. So line 4 here, it says using system. What does that mean? Well, when you write code, you write them in what we call libraries. For those people that are familiar with Java, they call them packages. Conceptually, though, they are the same thing. They are pre-built pieces of code that are bundled together for you to be able to use in your application. This particular application, by default, is using the system library. Now, there are other libraries that can be used and can be imported. Those are typically done through NuGet packages, and we'll talk about that later. But you can go to NuGet.org and look more into the NuGet packages and how that particular system works. The next line here on line 6 is public class hello world. Now, public is the modifier or access level for this particular class. There are other access modifiers, public, protected, internal, and private, that can also be used. Now, we'll get into the explanations of which each of those do at a later point in time. However, majority of the times when you're going to start an application, this is going to be public by default. Class is the grouping of the code and or objects that you're using. C# is an object-oriented language, which means everything is typically grouped together in classes or some other type of structure. Class is the most common type of structure, and you will see class in C#, you will see class in C++, as well as Java. Some PHP applications do have classes, but traditionally PHP has not always had classes, so you may see that and you may not. Next, we will come over to Hello World. So this is the name of this class, and the name of this class can be whatever you want to. Now, normally when you're building an application in C#, if you're using the Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code, this will by default start out as program instead of Hello World. Convention is that when you create a class, the name of the file that contains that class is the same name as the class itself. That said, if this was in a file, the file would be named helloworld.cs. The CS stands for C#. Every application has to have a main method, and that's what this is, starting with public static void main. The main method is what the compiler looks for to say, all right, this application is started. I need to have a main method because that's where my starting point is. The string args are the additional values that can be passed into the application when it is started. So for some applications, you may have a command that says help. So you'll type my application -help, and it will output the additional information to how to use the application. So that's where you can pass values into the application when it starts. And next we have the console.writeLine. This allows the application to print out text, numbers, anything else of that nature. And I'm going to go ahead and run this so you'll see what it will be outputting. So all you gotta do is type what you need to type in here, then hit run. It's going to take us a few seconds to build, and then it will run everything. And as you see, that on the console.writeLine outputs the same text, and that's it. As you see here, the code execution was successful. Now, if you're doing this in Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code, you won't necessarily see this message. You'll probably just see the window pop up, run the code, and then exit out. All right, so I'm going to come back to the main.cs, and what we're going to do here, and this is your first homework assignment. Your first homework assignment is to take the default code that is provided here, and then have it write your name and something about you. It could be, hey, Kenny, my name is Kenny, and I am a programmer. That will be the homework assignment. Once you have completed that homework assignment, I will need you to post that homework assignment on the message board. If you don't have a link to the message board, it is forums.rhtservices.net. You have to create an account. Once you create an account and complete the registration process, you will then see the Intro to Software Development, and it will ask you for a password. The password is HTU2025. Once you go there, there will be a section for homework assignments, and you post your code there for review. I will be reviewing some of the code that is posted there because there are a lot of students in this class. So I can't review everybody's homework because I don't have a TA to assist in that matter. So I will be reviewing somebody's homework and providing feedback on that homework, and I will be looking at the message board and monitoring it as well to see what you all are doing and any questions you may have. If there's anything that's not clear in this particular course or video, feel free to leave a comment on this video or even on the message board, and I'll be glad to provide a follow-up video to clarify those things. Have happy coding, and hopefully you learn in this class, Intro to Software Development.